Hey, everybody, it's Tommy Canale, and welcome back to Before the Lights podcast, the show that tells you how they made their mark. He's originally from Vineland, New Jersey, but now in Florida. A stand-up comic, MC, known better as Mike Casey. His song, Italian Christmas Time, portrays Italian traditions. So sit back, get your coffee, maybe grab some tea, but if you really want to enjoy this Italiano Christmas show, go get yourself some homemade vino. And let's welcome in Mike Cifaloglio. Mike, how are you today?
Hey, how are you, sir?
I am well. Welcome to the Before the Lights Christmas show. I'm excited.
Excited to be here.
Where does the stage name Mike KC come from? Is it Kansas City? Is it something else?
No, so when I started doing stand-up in Philly, I wanted to just be Mikey C. Mikey C. And no matter how I wrote it, they would mispronounce it. so finally, I just was being a smartass one night, and I wrote it as like you would a license plate, so Mike KC. So I got him to say it, and it just stuck. And I got booked, started getting booked that way. I worked Atlantic City. I did a couple shows for the USO, that kind of stuff. And so it just stuck. So I got the name. So it's easy to spell. It's easy to remember. And, Cifaloglio is like this long and got every letter in the alphabet. So
where does your love for comedy come from?
I started doing stand-up. I was the class clown when I was in high school. I was always just being funny. And I was looking for something, to do. I used to play bass guitar in a band for a little while. And I just missed it, So I decided that I was going to try stand-up. I bought a book, How to Do Stand-Up Comedy by Judy Carter. And I studied, and I got up my nerve one night, and I went to the Comedy Cabaret in Northeast Philadelphia, did my first open mic, and I did really well. And I only did it for a couple months before I started getting paid work, and it was a lot of fun.
Are you still doing it today?
I moved to Florida like a year and a half ago, and I haven't really done it since I've been here, but I'm working on getting back into the Florida scene a little bit.
Love that. Love that. Well, listeners, we're going to get into about Italians, then we're going to get into Italian Christmas. And then at the end, as tradition, I always play a song for Christmas. And at the end of the show, after the credits and all that stuff is over, you're going to hear Mike's Italian Christmas Time in its entirety. So stay tuned for that, and I'll remind you. But, Mike, let's get into Italians. You're Italian, I'm Italian. It starts with respect and family. I mean, everybody has an Uncle Vinny or a cousin Frankie or Louie. I mean, I'm assuming you do as well.
Absolutely. They all know a guy, too. Whatever you need, they know a guy.
Everybody's got a guy. I got a guy that can help you with that. Not only do you help each other, but you know where to connect somebody to somebody else to help and get a job done.
Yes, definitely.
What was your Italian neighborhood like growing up?
So my Italian neighborhood, I'm from South Jersey originally, so it's right outside of Philadelphia, and it's farm country. So my grandfather had a farm, and the neighbors were the Lapergolo family, who had a farm across the street. And as the kids grew up, they were all given a part of the farm. So one side was all their family, one side was all our family, and it was great because we got double the parties. So I grew up with those guys. Those were my boys. We had a lot of fun doing that.
I'm sure your family as well. You say goodbye, but there's 10 more coming before you finally get out the door.
Right. So if anybody gets mad at you, why you do they call it an Irish exit, but same thing in Italian, why you kind of just disappear. It's because if you don't, it takes you 85 minutes to say goodbye, right? Because you got to have a 15-minute goodbye with everybody at the party, right? Every cousin, you got to have 15 minutes at least each. So sometimes you just got to kind of disappear out the back door when nobody's looking.
Yeah, and if you go through them all, then you get to the door, somebody goes, "You're still here? Wait a minute, I want to talk to you."
Or they try to feed you again, or you got to have another glass of wine.
Right.
You never get home.
And you can always tell a room full of Italians just by the noise. We're not screaming. We're just talking.
That's right. My wife, I married an Irish girl. She's always telling me I'm yelling. And I'm like, I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling.
No. I know they say we always talk with our hands, with capiche, and that's true with Italians. But the voice, the volume, you're right. We're not yelling. We're just having a conversation. And typically it's just a bunch of laughter.
And if you grew up with that, you had to learn really quickly. Your voice has to be loud so people can hear you over everybody else.
This is right. Let's talk about Italian movies. I don't know about you guys. But my family, Thanksgiving, we got to watch Godfather. Are you the same?
Yes, definitely Godfather. I kind of like Goodfellas a little bit better because you don't have to be quite as invested. And the Godfather's got like 5 of them, you know.
Are you a Godfather 1 or Godfather 2 fan?
A Godfather 1.
Me too. One is better than 2. One
Absolutely.
1 to me is the best movie ever made.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said Goodfellas, also Casino. You got to have Casino in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's almost the same movie. I mean,
Yeah,
if we're being honest about it, it's the same movie. They just changed the guys a little bit.
Right.
But they're both great. I watch them, yes, all the time.
Let me ask you this then. When I get into Christmas, we'll talk about it too. But your opinion, is Die Hard the original Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, because it happens at Christmas.
Absolutely it is. There is a big debate that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. That is a Christmas movie through and through.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure. All right, when cooking, do you put olive oil in pasta, Mike?
I put a little in to make sure it don't stick together in the water.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, we do
Couple
not.
drops in the water. That's how my mom did it. That's what she taught me to do it.
Oh no, we never do. No olive oil in the water.
Just a little tiny bit.
You're just a little tiny bit. What about you? You don't break the spaghetti noodles, do you?
No.
That's
Why would you do that?
I don't know. There's people that do it. There's like viral videos.
That's laziness because they want it to fit in the pot too quicker.
Yeah. I just saw a viral video of somebody taking a box of spaghetti, putting it in a blender, blending it up, and then making their own pasta out of the pasta. I'm like, what are you doing? You had the pasta in your hands.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, we don't break spaghetti, people. If you're breaking spaghetti and you break it in half over the pot, please stop doing that. That you don't do that. You got to have the.
So now I got a question for you. Very important.
Okay.
Now, I'm from the, like I said, the Philadelphia area. Is it sauce or is it gravy?
It's sauce in my family, but it's probably.
Oh my God.
It's true for Italians. It's gravy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, my family grew up with sauce.
Yeah, so where I'm from, it's always a fight about sauce or the gravy, but it's the gravy.
And I get it.
I always say it's whatever Grandma says it is because she cooked it all day.
That's true. I mean, I get it. Tomato sauce is in a can. You make gravy to put on your macaroni.
That's right.
Is it macaroni or is it pasta?
It's pasta. Macaroni's the little elbow things Kraft sends you.
Exactly. And I'm not talking about macaroni and cheese in the box. Buy an actual box of elbow macaroni, right. People. Make your own. Food with Italians is big. I mean, for us, if you're at breakfast, you talk about what's for lunch. And at lunch, you want to know what's for dinner. And sometimes you're talking about what's going to happen tomorrow for dinner.
Absolutely.
What kind of spread do you guys do for Christmas? Did you do 7 fishes or no?
So my family always did the 7 fishes. Funny story about that. Both me and my brother, we don't care for the fishes. We don't like them. Everybody else in the family, we're like the oddballs. We don't do the fishes. So, but my aunts, being old Italian, we weren't allowed to have meat. There was no meat allowed even in the house, in the kitchen while they were cooking on Christmas Eve. So we always just kind of showed up for dessert or something. Showed up a little later, but we did not do the fishes. After I got married, my wife really likes the shrimps, so we went over in time for the fish. But
yeah, we don't do the 7 fishes. We do an Italian spread of different. Everybody brings a pot, and then we have a big Italian feast. But we don't do the 7 fishes either. You got to have food if you're Italian. You got to have food. You got to have homemade wine. Do you guys make homemade wine?
My dad made homemade wine forever.
Wow,
yes, it was excellent.
Yeah, we didn't make the homemade wine. We just buy lots of wine and drink a lot of wine.
Yeah, well, we used to have a wine cellar. We used to crush the grapes, the whole thing.
Did you grow tomatoes in the backyard and make your own sauce?
My grandfather did, yes. Yeah.
All right, what about pastina, Mike?
My mom used to give it to me when I was a kid, when we were sick. That's our alternative to chicken noodle soup, right? So I still do it sometimes in the slow cooker, not so much since I moved to Florida. I used to do it every year when I was in Jersey and it got cold outside, because it warms you right up, Yeah. It's got that chicken pastina.
It's Italian penicillin. I have a box of pastina and broth in the cupboard just in case.
That's right. If you get sick, that's the ticket.
You got to go to Pastina, people. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not only going to put a link to the song, but I'm going to put a link to Pastina in the show notes. So you people, if you're like, what in the hell are they talking about with pastina? It's Italian penicillin, and if you're not doing it, you got to do it. But I'll put a link to Pastina in the show notes so you can click on it. What about your family? Grandmother? I know my grandmother did. My mom might have done it as well. You take the aluminum cookie tin, but you open it, it's not usually cookies. It could have been sauce.
It's the sewing stuff, right?
Yeah, it could
they
be.
Bought one. They bought it one time.
One time, right. You don't know what's in that tin. It's not cookies. It could be anything. It could be anything.
They would buy the cookie tin. They would buy it when you'd eat the cookies, and then they would use the cookie tin for everything. Usually it was a sewing kit, right?
Yep, sewing kit is
but
right.
We never needed to buy the cookies again because the cookies they were making were way better than what was going on there.
That is right. That is right. Yeah, the tin never had the cookies in it. Could have been sauce.
Them horrible Danish butter cookies. That's what it was.
The ones that got hard as a rock if you left them out longer than an hour. You could actually.
I think they still got them at Costco. I think I saw them at Costco.
There you go, people. Go buy them, not for the cookies, but for the tin. You got yourself.
You gotta keep the tin.
You got to keep the tin. That's right. Italians, Christmas Eve is bigger than Christmas Day, right?
Yes, absolutely.
100%. Our Christmas Eve is full. I mean, we've had several traditions, but the one my father did from years ago was he used to run an amusement business, and he would go to each location that he had machines in and have a drink. Well, by the time he got home at 6 o'clock. So I started doing that later on in life and then got the family involved in it. Now we just kind of bounce houses to house and then find somewhere at the end of the night. And we don't open gifts. We don't open gifts till Christmas Day. Christmas Eve is all about family and having fun and having drinks.
Yes. With us growing up, Christmas Eve was, we would go to my dad's side, my grandmother over there for the 7 fishes. Then we would go to my mom's side, which is also all Italian. That would be for like dessert and stuff. And then they would go to midnight mass or whatever they would do. The kids would usually just go to bed because it was still a little too late. And then Christmas morning was just for gifts.
We would have parties at my house. We'd have not just the family, but it seemed like everybody in the town was coming over. We had a bar in the basement and it would just go on.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it would go on forever till wee hours of the night or in the morning. And I can't imagine. I know my family, there was a lot of hangovers the next morning opening gifts.
Yeah.
Traditions. I know a lot of families do it, but for sure Italians, you got to have a nativity scene. I mean, everybody had one.
So we had the nativity scene under the tree. We had a neighbor that was, his last name was Procopio, and he was he was like off the boat from Italy, like very Italian. And he used to have this giant one. My dad used to take me to see it every year. They would do the sky and the stars and lights and everything. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we had the one. It was on a shelf with the fake snow, and then you put the nativity scene down, and then a lot of people had them outside. The bigger ones with the lights on and the spotlights. But you got to have a nativity scene if you're going to be an Italian. You said midnight mass. Did you guys go?
My grandmother and my mom and stuff used to do. When I was a kid, we used to just get to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know if I went maybe a couple times. I know my grandfather, when he was alive, used to go to midnight mass all the time. That was a tradition for him to go to midnight mass. Where did you get the idea for the song Italian Christmas Time?
I just wanted to do a song. I wanted to do a song about that reminded me of what it was like when I was a kid. It's not that way anymore. Mm-mm. Unfortunately, everybody, kind of lives different places and they still get together a little bit, but they don't get together like when I was young, when I was a kid. And I just wanted I wanted to do the Italian version of Feliz Navidad, to be honest. And because other than that, we only got Dominic the Donkey, which is a funny song. But,
it is.
But so I wanted to do mine. I had the idea for the song. I wrote the song and I went and got a gentleman to help me write the music. And then we recorded the video and it was just fun. It's 99% true.
That's good. It's very catchy. I mean, it's a fun song to listen to. I love it. It's a great song. You did a nice job with that.
Thank you.
You said about old times and traditions, and that is about old Italian Christmas, the old Italian way, as it says in the song. And one of the things that I remember from my family is, on Sundays, everybody got together for dinner. And it wasn't just dinner. It was a big feast. You had the red and white checkered tablecloth. You had bread. You had olive oil. You had sauce. You had all kinds of different foods. And those days are gone, and I miss those Italian days.
My grandmother made homemade pasta every Sunday till she passed away. Went over there every Sunday, like you could write a book on it.
My great grandmother used to make homemade pizza that was to die for, and she went with the recipe, and nobody's ever gotten. I mean, we have talked about it, but nobody. It's just gone. And then she had the kitchen in the basement. Do you have that as well?
Well, no, we didn't have the kitchen in the basement. But she had one in the garage. She didn't have. So there was an extra kitchen in the garage with the whole. So you got to have multiple things going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to have multiple refrigerators, one in the kitchen,
yes,
and then one in the garage.
One in the garage. You got to have a freezer.
The freezer, right. And sometimes you got another one in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're, hooked up to a certain family, there's not food in that one.
Well, we don't talk about that. That's how you get in trouble.
That's right.
My family in Jersey, they did have a waste management company. I'm just putting it out.
And Uncle Louie was in construction.
There you go.
How did you get the song hooked up with Jetpack Label Group?
Well, Jetpack Entertainment contacted me after it got so many hits on YouTube. They signed me to a publishing deal. So anytime anybody uses it, if they trip it off a commercial, if they do anything like that, I get a little bit of royalties on. Not enough to not have to work, but a little bit of royalties.
Good. Can it be found anywhere besides YouTube?
So it's on all the major download services. You can buy it. I'm having I talked to my guy, my distributor the other day. For whatever reason, it's not working on Spotify this year. It's been on there before. But Apple Music, all those other ones will have it.
And it's just under Italian Christmas Time under Mike KC.
Yep, Mike KC. That's where that stage name comes in handy. So you can't misspell that one.
No, you cannot. Where can listeners follow you at? What are you on? What social media platforms? I'm on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, Facebook, YouTube. I'll put links to that in the show notes, listeners, so you can get your hands on that. Mike, what else you want to tell me about, your family's Italian or Italian Christmas time?
It's just, it's all about family. I wish we had a time machine. We could do it all over again. We just lost my oldest aunt a year ago, and she was 99 years old. She was one of the ones that were cooking the fishes and wouldn't let me have meat in the kitchen. She used to fight all the time, but that's never coming back. Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Buon Natale. Tell our listeners what Buon Natale means.
Buon Natale means Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That's right. So Buon Natale to you, Mike. Buon Natale to my listeners. And stay tuned for the song that will come up after we get done with the credits. Mike, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you, Tommy.
You are welcome. Listeners, make sure you do me a favor. Take 30 seconds out of your day. Rate and review the show. 5 stars, nice comments are always appreciated. It's Christmas time. Come on, people. Go give me 5 stars. Go give me a couple comments. Let me grow this show and enjoy the song Italian Christmas Time. That's going to do it for this episode of Before the Lights. I'm Tommy Canale. And until next time, everybody, a salute, a chin chin.
Say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. We like our old Italian Christmas, the old Italian way. So when you sit on Santa's lap and make your Christmas wishes, my aunts are in the kitchen cooking up the 7 fishes. Buon Natale, Italian Christmas time. Cut the salami and pass the homemade wine. I'm tasting yours, you're tasting mine. Pretty soon we're feeling fine. Everybody loves the Italian Christmas time. Now my grandpa, he told me, and he was never wrong, if Sinatra didn't sing it, it just isn't a song. This year for Christmas, he got a new TV, but the only things he watches is Godfather DVDs. Buon Natale, Italian Christmas time. Cut the salami and pass the homemade wine. I'm tasting yours, you're tasting mine. Pretty soon we're feeling fine. Everybody loves the Italian Christmas time. Now Grandma pinched my cheek so hard she made me holler ouch, 'cause I got a brand new plastic to cover up a couch. A gold chain for Tony, some hairspray for Marie. She wears her hair straight up to there like 1983. A tank top for Vinny, cause that's all he wears. From Josephine, some special cream gets rid of facial hairs. Buona Natale, Italian Christmas time. Cut the salami and pass the homemade wine. I'm tasting yours, you're tasting mine. And pretty soon we're feeling fine. Everybody loves it, the Italian Christmas time. We're all gonna eat and drink some more. Santa's a little fatter than he was before. We all ate and drank so much that I can't believe. Soon we'll do this all again, this time for New Year's Eve. Buona Natale, Italian Christmas time. Cut the salami and pass the homemade wine. I'm tasting yours, you're tasting mine, and pretty soon we're feeling fine. Everybody loves it, the Italian Christmas time. Buona Natale, Italian Christmas time. Cut the salami and pass the homemade wine. I'm tasting yours, you're tasting mine, and pretty soon we're feeling fine. Everybody loves it, the Italian Christmas time.